Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Working Hard, Trying Not to Starve. Listen, the companies don't care about you. They don't. Check this out, and I want to share something personal with you. So here we go. And remind everybody that. Let me start this over. They do not care anything about you. This is very common. It happened to a friend of mine. They will look in the eye and say, "Oh, yeah, everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. No one's going to be laid off." 2 weeks later, half the room laid off. So I just got laid off yesterday, and I felt like I needed to come on here and remind everybody that companies genuinely do not give a fuck about you. Sorry. Yesterday, our company laid off almost 250 people that they promised last year wouldn't need to be laid off. They gave us no indication that this was going to happen. They said everything was good, the financials were good, we had no reason to worry. And they had all of these people, all of my former coworkers, like working super hard up until the last minute on these like imaginary deadlines and super tight turnaround projects. And it turns out that they were doing that because they wanted the work done before they laid off everybody en masse. Yeah. So you're working late nights trying to make some imaginary deadline, or not taking vacation, not taking care of your family, or spending time with loved ones because work tells you have to. Like, stop. Like, absolutely do not listen to them. And because I will be the first to tell you that companies are gonna fire you even if you do all of those things for them. Yeah, so check this out. Not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. This happened to a friend of mine. Actually, there are two stories. Now, one company I worked with, and I'd heard about it. It's like whenever there's a rumor about, oh, they're gonna be laid off, those rumors, and I just happen to know somebody who worked for the VP at the time. So whenever you hear those rumors, in my experience when I did work in corporate America, it is true. Oh, believe it. Believe it, believe it, believe it. It is very true. So the rumors had swirled around, and a friend of mine, we had a meeting, and it's like, oh yeah, the company's going in a big direction, and they're having these big meetings, and I think it's maybe like 200 at this time, and then they break them down. So we're there, and they go through all the gibberish, and show all these charts, which means absolutely nothing for you. Okay, it just means it's nothing. So one of my friends at the time, coworkers, she just came out, it's like, any questions? And she just came out with her question. Yes, so out of all this, we've been hearing that there are rumors about layoffs. Are there gonna be any layoffs? Man, the CEO looked her dead in her eye, in her face. I was there. Looked her dead in her face and told her, no, there's not gonna be any layoffs. He didn't say we don't expect any. He said no, there's not going to be any layoffs. The rumors untrue. 2 weeks later, layoffs occurred. Now, let's talk about the companies that don't care about you. They do not care about you. And I'm glad that she mentioned it. Let me tell you why. So, this happened to a friend of mine who called me on the job. Well, no, they were working for, at this point, this was last year. So, they were working remote. Okay, working remote. And oh yes, they did come up with a fake deadline. Oh, they came up with a deadline, and this has to be done here, people. So let's go ahead and push, and finish strong. A whole bunch of nonsense. All right. So the people put the pedal to the metal. But guess what they did? Yes, unless you're an owner or a shareholder, I'm convinced they don't care about you. They don't. They're not going to bleed through cash to feed you and your wonderful family. They don't care. So they kept putting, oh, we got to work hard, finish strong. Some people, it was sad because some people were working through lunch. Oh, I'm going to work a little late and get this done, blah, blah, blah. So they pulled an extra caper, ladies and gentlemen. So what they did, my friend calls me hysterically, and he's like, oh man, they tell us to sign this paper. And I said, yeah, somebody else called me with the same thing. What's with this paper? It's like, yeah, they tell us to sign, they're saying to sign this paper. And they said, hey, we're talking about a contract that was like maybe about maybe, I think it's like maybe like 5 pages. He's like, well, I want to read over it. So they kept sending him. If most people, they're like, hey, just sign this paper. It's very important. We forgot to give this out. Go ahead and sign it now. Most people went ahead and just signed the paper, right? They signed. So he said, I want to read over it. So he kept putting them off, trying to say, hey, I need some more time. I need some more time. So you know what they did? They said it has to be signed by tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And it's like, well, I sign on about 8 o'clock. Yes, got to be signed tomorrow by 9 o'clock. So I said, hey, you need to, I said, that's a lot for you to, you don't know what you're signing. And so he looked over it that night, and then he even called an attorney. Okay. And guess what the paperwork, what they had in their clause? In the paperwork that they said that they had to sign, don't forget they're rushing people to get this paper signed. And it has to be signed by tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. They sign on at 8. So the lawyer said, here's what's going on with, look over the contract. Guess what the paper said? Because he had read over it and he was like, hey, I'm really concerned. They had a clause in there that said that your job is ending because as evidenced by your signature below, you failed to meet the company standard. Yeah, in a 5-page contract. And they were rushing people to sign it. You failed to meet. It was in the writing in that contract. I mean, come on, 5 long pages. You got a deadline. See, it's all game. You've got a deadline, but now you've got to go ahead and sign this like right now. It's got to be signed. What is all of this? You know what you're signing. So when you sign that paper, and I'm sorry, my allergies. When you sign the paper, it made reference that as evidenced by your signature below that you have agreed that you have, you didn't meet the company standards, therefore you are in violation. So they pressured him to sign it, and guess what happened? He was like, oh my God, this is getting exasperated, it's getting kind of crazy. Guess what happened? Remember the guy said it has to be signed tomorrow morning by 9 o'clock. You know what they did? By, I think he said it was like, was it before lunch? Before or after lunch or on that time? You know what they did? They sent out a mass blast and let the people know, oh, hey, sign on. We're going to have a quick meeting, everybody, and laid everybody off. Laid everybody off. And I said to him, I said, you should have put on their sign under duress. I said, so you know what they just did? What they just did was get you all to sign that paper so you can't get unemployment. And the lawyer told him in that state, yes, if you don't follow the company's guidelines, that could be a ways and means for them to deny you unemployment. So then it all makes sense. That's why they're rushing those people, yes, to get all the work done. Get as much work as you can. People working through lunch, working a little late. Get as much work done as you can. Because you know what? And it was like, wow, all this happened, y'all, within 2 days. Get as much work as you done, pedal to the metal, teamwork, and we're gonna finish strong. You're a whole bunch of BS. Oh yeah, and sign this paper. They don't care about you. And I said, wow, so when you go to file for unemployment benefit, oh, by the way, yeah, let's talk about a package. There wasn't one. You get your last 2 weeks and that's it. They didn't offer anybody a package. So stop and think. You're not getting the package. And you know what else you're not going to get? You're not going to get unemployment. No severance, no package, no unemployment. You leave with your last check and bye-bye. So she's right. They don't care about you. They don't. And people think, I should have been working. I did whatever they said. They don't care about you. I'm sorry. They're ruthless. No severance package. You got your last check and that's it. And now, since everybody signed it, I said they just found a way not to pay the unemployment. But don't forget, people, don't forget they are running a game. Because don't forget, do you not see what they're doing besides that? They've taken out money out of everybody's checks to pay the unemployment taxes. And I've heard of companies of not reporting the money. So stop and think, what has this company done? That leads me to believe that it is highly probable that they have not been paying in those unemployment taxes to the state, those paying quarterly into the state. They've probably been keeping the money, not paying it in, keeping it in their account. but taking it out of your check. And that's why I think they want them to go ahead and sign those papers. You must sign. You got to sign right now. Rush them to sign because I think they knew. I said, but they're taking unemployment taxes out of everybody's check. Mm-hmm. I told them, I said, I bet what they're going to keep the money. Taking those taxes out of your check and going to keep the money. And then when you go to file, they're going to say, oh, no, we don't owe an unemployment because you signed this. They're going to submit that contract. So ergo, I said, I bet you I wouldn't put it past them. They're going to probably keep the money. Because they know once you sign this contract, guess what? uh, if they don't report the unemployment, the taxes in every quarter, then guess what? They need you to sign because guess what? They're not going to pay for it. So, but the money is taken out of your check and you sign this form and you can't get the benefits. Exactly. Ergo, the company gets to keep the money. That's what in my mind. I said, I bet you they haven't been paying those taxes in for unemployment. And it's probably why they rushed it. So this within 2 days. Rush, 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 rush. So yeah, working hard, trying not to starve. These companies don't care if you lose your job. Let me know what you all think, and I'm out.